Hello, and welcome to another edition of Afternoon Idle. Setting up really quick here so I have a timer ready. I'm your host, Andrew. I am a certified mindfulness meditation coach in the Unified Mindfulness System. You can find out more about at unifiedmindfulness.com. I am many things, but I am not a licensed therapist, mental health professional, or any of those sort of things. I am a longtime meditator, software engineer, indie wrestling ring announcer, now a podcast co-host, and other things. Today we're going to switch things up. So what we usually do here is we do a little bit of something and then contrast that with a little bit of nothing. So, and ideally, that sort of you begin to triangulate on that in between doing something and nothing, which tunes, to me at least, I found practically it'll in how much effort or how lazy can I be and still be in the present moment. So today we're going to switch and we're going to put nothing at the front. So we'll do nothing at the beginning after we settle into the posture, and then we'll finish with doing something towards the end. And I'll do a little bit like yesterday. I got some feedback on yesterday of having choice. So we'll, allow you to pick your home base, and then I'll offer suggestions around feel or so just feel and just here as options in the guidance. So just as an aside really quickly, the just here would be both here in and here out. So when we have see, hear, feel, the three categories, there's an inner and outer dimension for each of those, or an internal and external. And so just here would be both here in and here out. Just feel would be feel in and feel out. And so we'll let folks have choice on that, but I'll offer some prompts that allow you to pick whichever is going to resonate more with you. So that's where we're headed. We do this for about 15 minutes. If you're curious, my timer is usually about 15:35, but that includes the setup and ringing the bell and all that fun stuff. So if you do have questions or reports, we can talk about that after. So let's begin. So to begin, I invite you to adopt a posture that helps you to be both relaxed and alert. To the torso upright, the spine long, sitting in a way that feels dignified. If it helps from a posture sensing perspective, the shoulders ideally are over the hips. The nose is aligned with the navel. The ears are aligned with the shoulders. And adopting this posture helps cue the nervous system to pay attention. So the nervous system is still engaged in an alert way, but we're sitting in a way where we're not stressing or efforting to hold the posture. And then just checking in to see if there's any tension present. I usually cycle through locations like the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. And often, but not always the case, when we notice the tension, it will often release. And if it doesn't, that's our first opportunity to bring no big deal attitude to the sit, allowing the tension to be there. And then a few conscious and deliberate breaths. We breathe in through the nose and then exhale out through the nose. If you're congested, you can purse your lips to help create that slow inhale and slow, elongated exhale. So, as we're deliberately breathing, slow and low is our tempo. Nod to the Beastie Boys. And then when we begin here, we're just going to go ahead and let go. We'll allow whatever happens to happen. If we spontaneously notice that we've begun directing or orchestrating where our attention is, we'll let that go. We're not observing that, we're not watching for that. Just letting whatever happens happen. And if we see that attempt to control our attention, we drop it. If we notice that 2 or 3 times and it keeps happening, just consider that part of whatever's happening and let it happen. So explore, do nothing. So you may notice that you're not trying to control your attention, but maybe there's some mental chatter that draws you in. And you notice that you're adding to that chatter. And then when you add to that chatter, there's more chatter to add to. So if you notice that, it's another thing that you can drop. Or maybe you notice that you're trying to subtract from what's going on, keep things as bare bones as possible. So we're really in a just receiving mode, just letting whatever happens happen. We're not producing or doing anything with what's going on. It's an open and passive stance. Good. So now let's shift into our technique. And you may decide to use home base that you're comfortable with. That's totally fine. Or through your current interest, or maybe there's settling in the body, so there's an opportunity. You may want to pick just feel because the body is calm and settled. Or maybe there are sounds around you that are calm, like a refrigerator hum or the sound of air blowing through a vent, and you would choose just here maybe. So again, your choice. In either case, we're picking up a technique that's a noting technique. You'll have a focus range, either feel or hear. You'll notice where your attention is, soak your attention in, and then optionally label it. So explore whichever technique you've chosen. Regardless of what technique you've picked, you're likely to have your attention pulled away. And then noticing that is really the key. Knowing when your attention is pulled away. And then the opportunity to kindly, with care, bringing your attention back. Again, from that stance of no big deal. Often when we're given a choice, then sort of is like picking a line at the grocery store. The choice you had made is the choice, the other choices. So again, if you find yourself sort of with regret of which technique you've chosen, or maybe you've begun sort of experiential channel surfing, notice you. And then you can choose to shift techniques or stay with. If your eyes have been closed, I invite you to open them and connect to your surroundings. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for joining me for our brief time together. If you have questions, I can offer responses that may or may not be acceptable answers. And if you have reports too, we switched it up today a little bit. So having the do nothing part, instead of it being at the end like we normally do, we brought it up at the beginning. So I'm imagining for some that could be, you may feel scattered at the beginning because we normally get a bit of momentum of having a technique at the beginning. Or maybe it was awesome. I don't know. I'm open to, like Fox Mulder, extreme possibilities. The other question I had someone ask about, so if you have an app like what I've been using for a long time is the Insight Timer app. And when I first started using it, it was just a timer. Like it wasn't a community and a class platform and all of the things that it is now. And I often use it still like a timer. But what you can do is set it with intervals. So if you want to play with the sequence of these sits, right? A technique, and I'm contrasting it with the null technique or the no technique. But you can use this as a way to do almost like meditation circuits. So you could do a concentration practice. Maybe that's concentrating on the body or your breath for 5 minutes, and then you can have interval bells that will give you, without you having to look. Now I'm done with my concentration practice. Now I'm going to move on to maybe an insight practice, and then in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to move to a metta practice or a loving kindness and friendliness practice. So that's one way for you to use the bell timers that are in intervals. So I don't believe the untimed timer in the 10% Happier app allows you to do that, and I don't believe the Calm timer allows you to do that. So Insight Timer, and then if there are other timers like that. So okay, interesting, Jill. So Jill says that she noticed the tendency to try for the technique. Oh, good. Okay. Nice. Excellent. Oh, okay. So Brooke, the switch was nice. You're not necessarily feeling a preference. Okay, that's good. That sort of is the not preference. Preference is definitely the equanimity, vitamin E. So I think Roshi, Joan Halifax, was using that vitamin E, but maybe Dan Harris prompted her with that. So cool. Well, if you have any requests for tomorrow, for Friday, you can always message me. Oh, you can post a comment, so that's always an option. You can post in chat. Message me on Instagram. I'm Leonards, Lenards, D as in David, S as in Sam, and you can message me there too. So awesome. Have a great day, and thank you for spending some time with me.